Columbia College, Chicago, class of 2017. This afternoon, we will be presenting degrees to candidates from some of our top programs. They are AAA, Audio Arts and Acoustics. You guys are something. Creative Arts Therapies. Dance. And a program near and dear to my heart, television. And last but certainly not least, theater. Let me take this time to congratulate the more than 2,000 graduates whose work was showcased at Manifest. Manifest is unique to Columbia College. It is our signature end of the year Urban Arts Festival. We basically take over all of the South Loop. We have bands, we have art, we have dance, we have mimes. It's hard to describe. I can't do it justice. You have got to see it for yourself. This is Manifest.
All you gotta do is take each day by day. Gotta immerse your soul. Gotta push through the darkness. Gotta break free of the fear. Gotta put up a fight. Gotta immerse your soul. Gotta step in love. Gotta start spreading the hope. Gotta move into the light.
student, we are lucky enough to have this amazing thing called a college ID, which we can show at places like the Museum of Contemporary Art or the Art Institute to get in for free, or much more importantly, at Subway, where you can get a 10% discount. It's amazing, right? Truly the essence of being in college, finding how you can get cheap food. But another gem that ID gets us is $15 tickets to the shows at the Auditorium Theater, the one we're in right now. My freshman year at Columbia, I went to see Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater on this stage. The Ailey Company is my favorite modern dance company of all time, and if you've heard of the dance piece Revelations, you know how to make me cry. The Dance Center at Columbia also has a presenting series where 8 or so different professional companies from all over the world come to the Columbia Dance Center stage to perform. And my awesome student ID got me very cheap tickets to those shows too. The first one I ever saw was a contemporary ballet company called Ballet X. And it blew my mind to see these dancers, incredibly trained in ballet technique, move their bodies in a way that was so fluid and gooey. It looked like their muscles were gonna melt and drip off their bones. Not at all what I thought ballet was supposed to look like. The themes I started to notice time and time again when I went to these dance performances were that one, I had a lot to learn, and two, to the untrained eye, these dancers simply looked as if they were moving. Nothing special or particularly difficult. And what I started to understand through my education at Columbia was that they weren't just moving, but they were moving with intention. Learning how to move with intention was by far the most valuable lesson I have learned from my years at Columbia College Chicago. Right now, the world is spinning on its axis at 1,000 miles an hour, and we are sitting here in this auditorium orbiting the sun at 67,000 miles an hour. We are all moving. The world needs to move. We all need to move. Otherwise, life would cease to exist as we know it. Now, I'm not saying that we all need to put on our jazz shoes and start learning some choreography, but what I am saying is that we all need to move. And more importantly, we all need to move with intention. Move can be defined in many ways, but the Webster Dictionary includes the phrase to take action in its definition. To take action, to move, to create movement, a movement, to be moved, to be movable. See, that's the catch. The world is movable. It's not still, not physically or metaphorically, and that's where the hope lies. If the world is movable, then it's also malleable. And if it's malleable, then it's also adaptable. And if the world is adaptable, malleable, and can be moved, then there's no telling the possibilities that lie ahead. And who better to move this world than the artist sitting in front of me? Who else in this world has more creative, honest, and virtuous intentions to move the world than the graduates before you? Now, I know I'm sort of tooting my own horn, but I really do believe that these young artists, the dancers, the writers, composers, graphic designers, they are the ones who will take their ingenious, imaginative intentions and actually move the world. Now, I'm presenting you with quite a feat here, aren't I? Moving the world? But here at Columbia, our professors strive to give us the skills necessary to move the world and the capacity to do so with honorable intentions, reaching far anyone ever expected. We are equipped. We have all the skills we need. We are ready. And we are all probably terrified. I know I am. We all joke about the fears of having to adult, a verb we created that basically sums up all of the mysterious aspects of actually being an adult, like health insurance, taxes, mortgages, what containers you don't put in the microwave, how long to boil an egg, those sorts of things. But I would go so far as to say that none of us are actually scared of those things. So what if my taxes aren't done right the first time, or my leftovers explode in the microwave? But what we are actually scared of is not moving the world. We're scared of being insignificant. How can we move the world if we feel insignificant? And what does it even mean to be significant in the first place? Does it mean that you leave behind a legacy? Does being significant mean you touch one person's life and that's enough? Does it mean that you leave this world knowing that you gave it something it didn't have before? Well, whatever it means to you, figure it out. Because when we find our significance, we gain a power that is unstoppable. And that translates into an ability to move the world. Realizing our own significance can feel like an uphill battle, but it's a pursuit worthy of a life's work. It's what we are all now so well equipped to do. I think back to watching the Alvin Ailey Dance Company on this stage, about how I felt watching their bodies move through space like they not only own the space, but they themselves created it. I think about my time at Columbia, learning how to move with intention and how to have intention in the first place. And I think about how I feel right now, about to receive a diploma and a life sentence to adulting. And I realize I don't know what it means to be significant yet, but I do know that when I do find my significance, I will find my way to participate in moving the world beside my fellow artists here today. So, Columbia grads, let's head out there into the world, figure out how the heck to do our taxes, pay full price for Subway, and have no idea what it means to be significant. I'm confident that we will figure it out one way or another. That's what our experience at this school has taught us so well to do. And I'm confident that we will all move the world because the world is ready for us to move it. Thank you.
With your permission, I would like to address my remarks directly to our graduates. Congratulations. The fact of your graduating, of course, is no accident, and we honor today the accomplishment, the choices, and the sacrifices which helped you get here today. The degrees you have earned tell the world that you can each make a complex multi-year commitment, stick to it in the face of multiple challenges, and finish well what you start. That says a lot about your character and about your ability to succeed. Your degrees also say something about what you know and what you can do. But here are some hard truths about what your degrees don't say. They do not certify that you are an expert. That takes more than a degree. That takes a lifetime of commitment. Persevere and you'll get there. They don't certify that you're the world's most interesting person. Hello, that's a beer commercial. They don't certify that you are now in charge, because you're not. And they certainly do not certify that the world now owes you something. It doesn't, so get over it. My thoughts together for today has actually been a challenge. Last year, I still believed that we as a country would settle back into a reality which made sense to me. But instead, I now find myself confronting a reality that I don't fully understand. As the first person born in my family in this country, I grew up believing that opportunity and individual freedom were America's core values. And in spite of the racism and the discrimination that I have experienced my entire life, I have always believed that we were on a trajectory of increasing civil liberty and personal freedom, and that one of the greatest strengths of our country was the sometimes confusing diversity of our society. How our world has changed. Racism, xenophobia, and a corrosive suspicion of the other have infiltrated our collective thought and discourse and behavior. Blatant lies are labeled alternative facts. We seem overwhelmed by a fear of the future and the world as it is becoming, and increasingly, access to the American dream seems to be limited to those who can afford it. Now, why am I saying these things on this most celebratory day? Because I believe that the times, as they are, represent a moment of rare opportunity for each of you. When has there ever been a greater need for skilled, well-educated creatives prepared to engage head-on with the world? New ideas, new dreams, new perspectives, new practices, new ways of framing problems, and new approaches to problem solving. We need you. Whenever I describe our students, I always talk about courage. I know that you were willing to make tough choices about your lives and your paths in the face of opposition, and often with a lack of general understanding in the world. You were not ruled by a need to fit in, and you were relentless in your search for your authentic voice. That courage will sustain you when you must stand firm in the face of opposition. And that same courage will give you the strength to speak out and do the right thing when safer options present themselves. Because of your courage, I am confident that you will in fact help us achieve a more humane, more meaningful, and more promising future. Because of you, I hold on to hope. Now, today, as my send-off to you, I'd like to offer you, as I have many other graduating students, my simple rules for success. My original list was 7, but today in your honor, I've added an 8th. But don't worry, this won't take long, all right? So here's number 1. Most of you know this, because most of you have heard me say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Be on time. Okay, cool, I'll say it again. With a little more emphasis. Be on time. All right, in the professional world, show up late, and someone else will have grabbed the opportunity. They may not have been better than you, but they got there first. And even more importantly, showing up late says to the world that you think your time is more valuable than someone else's time. Really? Disrespecting others is not going to get you anywhere. So be on time. All right, that's number 1. Number 2, do what you say you're going to do. All right? Don't overpromise. If you can't do it, just say so. Once you get tagged as unreliable, you're through. All right. 3, reach out to others. There's 2 reasons for this. The first one is that there is so much to learn from those who are wiser and more experienced than you. But the second really is in answer to a question, namely, where do you think success comes from? Do you actually believe that there's such a thing as a self-made person? Someone who succeeded all on their own because of their willpower and determination? You will never find that person. Yes, successful individuals work incredibly hard, they're determined, they're disciplined, they're resilient, and they never stop pursuing excellence. But you can be sure that behind every success story, there was someone who recognized that ability and saw that promise and who opened a door. Your opportunities will come because someone clearly sees who you are and what you can do and wants to help you. So, the more people you know, the better. All right, number 4. Listen. I understand that right now you are under a lot of pressure to talk about yourselves and promote your work, and that's important. but be careful about talking about yourselves too much. Chances are the person you are talking to has something equally interesting to say if you would just let them. 5, have compassion for others and don't be too quick to pass judgment. Until you have walked in another's shoes, you don't have the right. Almost done. 6, live with a sense of gratitude. In my book, complaining, whining, and self-pity are all inexcusable. And if you want a tip, make it a habit to say thank you. And if you want the expert level tip, make it a habit to express your thanks in writing. No, my friends, that is not a quaint idea. That will lift you up above the crowd. All right, number 7. Take full responsibility for your words, your actions, and their consequences. People who make excuses are lame. People who blame others are losers. So step up. All right, now, here's the new one. Here's the new one. This is based on one of my pet peeves. Number 8. Avoid starting sentences with the words, I need. That's a linguistic pattern which suggests a sense of entitlement. That's the whole "the world owes me" thing that I cautioned you about a little earlier. It's not a good way to start a conversation. It's not a good way to start a relationship of any sort. So let me illustrate for you how it works for me. I'm talking to someone, and I hear, I need. Instantly, without anything revealing itself on my face, the bubble appears above my head. And here's what's in that bubble. You need? Oh, really? Let me tell you what you need. You need air. You need water. You need food. You need clothes. And you need shelter. And you need to quit. Do not say I need to me, all right? From now on, every time you see a person in need, every time you see a problem go unresolved, every time you see a wrong unrighted, I want you to remember that little step you took, and I want you to repeat it. I want you to keep stepping forward until that basic act of courage and leadership becomes ingrained in who you are in the world. That is the obligation I place on each of you as graduates of Columbia College Chicago. All right, so finally 3 things. Let your light shine. Let your voice be heard. Have faith in the goodness and bounty of the universe, and let your courage surface. Congratulations.
President Kim, members of the Board of Trustees, it is my honor to present to you today these candidates for bachelor's degrees. They have completed all degree requirements and are worthy of this distinction.
By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees and on the recommendation of the faculty, I hereby confer upon you the appropriate bachelor's degree and welcome you to the ranks of educated individuals with all of the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. Congratulations.
Anna Rodin-Sova. April Butcher. Rebecca Diane Wong. Patrick Kelly Burns. Isabella Brown. Gianna Mannix. Jacob Buerger. Janelle Pippin. Brianna Bennett.
right to the left side of your motorboat.